I don't know if you guys remember this image right here, but 1 year ago, it was in fact the iceberg that the once beloved brand of Jaguar hit. And well, over the subsequent year, they just decided to capsize their entire industry. And well, here's the thing, right? Whenever I reference this, I would normally pull up the Twitter post of it, the one that, Elon Musk roasted by simply saying, "Don't you guys sell cars anymore?" And everybody and their mother dunked on because they decided to unroll this entire rebrand like a week after the 2024 presidential election. It's like, okay, the most tone-deaf shit ever that was already very much falling out of favor. But then after you got the rebuke of all of that crap, you thought, aha, now's the time to do it. And it's like, no, man, this was a bad idea. And it wasn't like a slow drop-off. It was an immediate drop-off because not but months later, if you remember this as well, Jaguar sold just 49 cars. 49 cars in April of 2025. Could you imagine being a global brand and only selling 49 units in the world? What the fuck? That goes to show you that this is one of the most pointed and aggressive examples of get woke, go broke that we are likely to have ever seen. Like, not even Budweiser and Bud Light was hit this hard. This was a remarkable failure. And so, yeah, I forgot to bring up the reference, but the marketing team behind the entire ad campaign was let go. There was reshuffling that was happening in C-suites. And now, at the end of the year, to just simply cap off a year of turmoil, JLR fired the man who designed the Jaguar Type 00 concept. Gerry McGovern's abrupt exit comes amid new leadership who may have plans to take Jaguar in a different direction. Yes, one that sells at least 50 units in a month. But JLR, the brand formerly known as Jaguar Land Rover, is cutting ties with the man behind some of its most popular models and one of its biggest controversies. Gerry McGovern's JLR Chief Creative Officer since 2020 has been fired, according to a report today by Autocar India. Yes, my friend. The decision to get rid of McGovern was reportedly made by PG Balajai. Okay, JLR's newest CEO, previously Balajai, that was the chief financial officer at the Tata Motors Group. Seriously, with all these funny names, what are we doing? JLR's parent company, yes, but last month he replaced Adrian Mardell, who retired after 3 years as JLR CEO and 35 years with the company. Now, Balaji takes over as a company that is still recovering from a massive cyber attack that halted production, and with Jaguar having delayed its 130k electric Grand Tourer, and appears JLR's new leadership may have plans to take things in a different, more profitable direction. I didn't actually hear about that cyber attack, and and the fact that, that concept car ended up getting delayed even further, none of it really surprises me at this point in time. But according to Autocar Report, McGovern was considered to be a driving force in Jaguar's controversial rebrand, which included switching to an all-electric lineup and building more expensive, limited production models to compete with ultra-luxury brands such as Bentley. Bro, you have an established brand, and it's one thing to release like one model that is a little bit more boutique than the rest of your line, but this was just so stupid. The move coincided with the release of the polarizing Jaguar Type 00 concept. I'll be fair though, it wasn't really polarizing. It was like everybody was against it. Everybody thought it was bad. What are you doing? Car and Driver reached out to JLR to confirm the news of McGovern's dismissal, but a spokesman said the company won't comment on the situation. While McGovern's most recent creation courted controversy, the 69-year-old has a wide-ranging portfolio that has left no doubt towards his significance to the Jaguar Land Rover brand. Along with the rebooted Land Rover Defender, McGovern's credits include the Range Rover Evoque and Range Rover Velar. But what's he going to be remembered for? Tanking Jaguar into the fucking ground. Yo, man, you have Car and Driver saying the polarizing Type 00 is exactly what Jaguar needed. And I mean, because this is the only place that we can go back and make reference, because that legendary Twitter post has been deleted. While Car and Driver thinks that it is something that we definitely needed, they disabled the like and dislike ratio, but they did leave the comment section open, and holy fuck, 48,000 comments. I guess Jaguar identifies as bankrupt, copy nothing, copies tone-deaf brand simplification trend. The only thing brave about this ad is to leave the comment section on. I now understand why the CEO was fired. This feels like an advert for condoms. Yeah, it's something, man. This ad will be studied for centuries in university as an example of what not to do in marketing. It really is just the most it is the perfect example of just what not to do, how to tank your company in one 30-second spot. Nobody thought this was a good idea. There's no cars in this fucking ad. There's just a bunch of weirdos in fucking pastel colors. It served as the most obvious example of just everybody being sick and tired of this bullshit. So I guess that is one bright spot that we can go ahead and point to, okay? In November of last year, this was the point in time where everybody realized that this sort of drama kid art house bullshit that has been shoved down the throats of the mainstream just isn't popular, just isn't going to be accepted anymore. Unfortunately, it had to kill off a legendary brand, but at this point in time, if they thought it was a good idea, if they were fine with selling less than 50 vehicles in a month, if they were fine with recycling all of their offices at their corporate headquarters, well, you go ahead and do whatever in the blue hell you want, because clearly you're going to have a lot of time on your hands, mostly being unemployed and figuring out which brand you're going to fuck up next, because you remember, these people, they never really fail out of the industry. They just end up making a lateral move to screw up your favorite brand next. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.